The Spanish River in Ontario, Canada. A premier destination for wilderness paddlers. Come along with Jordan Walmsley and me, Jason Irwin, as we attempt the 145-kilometer run down this historic waterway in late October. The weather was a challenge, along with very high water levels, and we get just a little bit more river than we expected.
Oh no. The river will remind you every now and then who's in charge. That's Jordan making a bunch of noise. We got attacked by a moose last night. Or we almost did anyway. He came crashing through the woods pretty close to us. Gave us a bit of a jump. We're finally getting away in good time this morning. We had a light trickle of snow, but that was it. So hopefully we have a little bit nicer program today.
As we pushed on through the morning, the temperature began to drop, hovering a couple degrees below zero. I could have spent an entire day poking about with the cameras. Heavy mist off the water and the frost-tipped trees at the higher elevations. It was beautiful, but we needed to make some time.
All right, we've arrived at the cliff rapids, and it does have an amazing cliff wall on river left. A little short portage if we need to portage, but that's what we're doing. We're just scouting right now. See what we're in for. Okay, wobbly shot. Why so wobbly? Do you have a different one? I'm blinded by the big yellow thing in the sky. What is it?
Now, grant me the license here to get just a little bit mystic. When you paddle a canoe down such an active river, there's a tangible feeling like you're coursing through the veins of the earth, surging through the arteries. Both Jordan and I were born and raised on the shores of Lake Huron, spending most of our lives in or around its waters. The Spanish is the largest watershed feeding Lake Huron. This trip is really a pilgrimage of sorts, tracing a path down the headwaters of our youth. Deep, deep Tumblehome, deep. Despite considerable effort, we just couldn't seem to make the kind of distance we wanted. Swirling winds, most of them right in our face. The current was great, but the wind was playing havoc. A bald eagle and a stiff headwind greeted us as we came into the top of Spanish Lake. We stopped here for lunch and managed to get reception on our phones. Jordan learned that his mom's sister had passed away, and the weather forecast for the next few days wasn't looking fun. We decided then to call and arrange a shuttle pickup. Luckily, there's road access at the elbow. This would cut off about a third of our planned route, about 50k, but it was the right decision. There was no sense in us pushing it in these conditions, and now we could relax. We took our time with lunch and continued down the river to a nearby campsite.
What rapids are we at? Zigzag Rapids. We're gonna hunker down here at the campsite. We're actually gonna cut it short. We're gonna cut the trip a little short. We just didn't really plan for this cool weather, but also the headwinds. They're just crushing us. So we're gonna pull out at the elbow, but we're gonna sort of take an extra day at the elbow, camp an extra day there, and pull out basically one day early. Cold, it's supposed to be wet on Friday. We're gonna kick it here for the night, and then maybe a 4-hour paddle tomorrow, camp there, and then get picked up the following morning. And I'm fine with that. I mean, we've only shortened our trip by one day, and it's really the smarter thing to do. It's going to be much more enjoyable for the next day and a half, because we were just all of a sudden up against the wall time-wise, and that's what we're going to do. All right, Jordan, show me some feather sticking. Oh my God, look at that. Heavenly. Oh, just makes me feel good inside. Woo! Look at that thing. That's just how we roll on the Spanish. Look at that, it's a little boat. Oh yeah, there we go.
Our shortened route allowed us to be a bit more liberal with the daily alcohol rations.
Jordan? We ate tacos tonight. Jordan made some really nice tacos. Pretty sweet. We had a few drinks and nice fire. Had one more little rainstorm. Quickly threw up a tarp. But I have a feeling that tomorrow's going to be at least partly sunny. So that'll be nice. And maybe the wind will be at our back. When we had cell service there, we took a quick look at the forecast. That's another reason we decided to not go the full distance, because if we just stayed that extra day or two, they were going to be wet days, like seemingly fairly wet, with winds from the south. So as we were heading south down to Agnew Lodge on big open lake, Agnew Lake, it just would not have been fun. So we had the option to pull out a little early, and that's what we gonna do. Tumble home out. See you tomorrow. Man, the least they could do is have heated seats out here. That was a cold poop.
For the first time in the trip, We didn't feel the pressure from time. We could just kick back, savor a coffee, and soak up some much-needed vitamin D. The journey to the next campsite was a quick one.
Watch that there!
This is the Spanish River in full swing.
Man, we're just cooking through here.
We're so used to lake travel, where you don't have to be as vigilant. I get a little bit complacent. We're moving so quickly, and my attention is split between the beautiful surroundings and navigating these quick swifts. The Spanish was not going to let us get off without at least one curveball. At this point, I see nothing. At this point, I see something. And at this point, oh no, I know I don't have time to avoid it.
I'll just keep her straight and stay low. That was something.
I was thinking left side. I'm thinking left side. You're going right side. Like, okay, maybe if we go far right, it'll be good.
I just didn't see that thing. My heart was in my throat there for a half second.
I thought you were in. I looked up and I saw you
Yeah.
couldn't see your canoe.
Bit of a close call there. The river will remind you every now and then who's in charge. Man, I didn't see that one coming. I should have maybe stood up and did a little scope. Close. But we're good. We're dry. We're on top of the boat.
At the next rapid, we proceed with a little more caution.
I'm gonna stay left because it looks a little bit calm. Maybe even a back eddy there. He's gonna go? Looks a little gnarly there, but...
After the first bend, Jordan makes the wise suggestion to scout the rest of it. Soon, we're back in the boats with a better idea of what we're heading into.
Woo-wee! Ready?
Go for it.
Hunter and Harris paddle, taking us through the good stuff.
One of the greatest inspirations for me making these films is the work of Bill Mason. His movies stand the test of time. Prior to this trip, as I often do, I watched his classic Path of the Paddle. One particular passage of his often floats through my head while I'm paddling. The age of the canoe is not gone. It's just different. The canoe is no longer a vehicle of trade and commerce. Instead, it has become a means of venturing back into what is left of the natural world. It's true, there isn't much left to be discovered, but there is much to be rediscovered. About the land, about the creatures who live there, and about ourselves. Where do we come from, and where are we going? There is no better place and no better way to follow this quest into the realm of spirit than along the lakes and rivers of the North American wilderness in a canoe.
We did it, buddy. We stayed dry and relatively warm.
This site used to be a tiny village that helped facilitate the log drives back in the day.
Jordan, tell us the history of this grouse that we're about to have as an appetizer.
As we got off the river this afternoon, we were greeted by some bird hunters that shot this grouse, and didn't necessarily take enough time to retrieve said grouse. And after they left, we went and found it, and now we're eating it.
We told this guy that we saw this grouse in the bush. He proceeded to get his shotgun saw it, shot it, knew he hit it, and just didn't have the time or the inclination to follow through and actually go find the bird that he basically knew he just killed. And there it is. Like Jordan said, there should be a basic ethics test before you can get a license to hunt. This guy clearly would not have passed.
Like chicken?
Uh-huh. Oh my god. Dude, it's fantastic. Really good.
Really good, yeah.
Wow. Whoa, that is some tasty bird right there.
All props go to Jordan for finding, dressing, and cooking this unexpected bounty. It was flippin' delicious. It should also be noted that he brought all manner of cured meats, high-end cheeses, and a couple of nice fat steaks. It sure is fun to trip with someone who's so into food and food prep.
Beautiful, beautiful October weather. Not the most pleasant, but beautiful nonetheless. Gotta check out our nice little nook in the woods here. Quite nice.
Well, this marks the end of our trip on the Spanish River. I hope you've enjoyed coming along for the ride, and that you've gained a better sense of what you might be in for when you set out on this historic and storied river.
Jordan is the only man I know who's comfortable to pee somewhere and then to just walk right through the pee to get some more firewood.